This is a very, very special day for the city of Port Huron. I'm Tom Walker, the Times Herald, and it is my honor to take care of Master of Ceremonies duties today. The first thing I'd like to do is acknowledge some important elected officials from our area that contributed to this important and very special award today. Alan Kutcher of the Port Huron City Council, James Fisher, David Haynes, and Mark Steinborn. Of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners, Wallace Evans, Howard Heidemann, Terry London, and Pam Wall. Of our local judges, David Nicholson and Cynthia Platzer. Also, I'd like to acknowledge St. Clair County Prosecutor Mike Winland. This is, again, a very important day for our city, and it is one in which a tremendous coalition of varied community groups and public officials and wide civic entities work together to make this All-America City designation possible. I'd like now to introduce the Mayor of Port Huron, B. Mark Neal.
Thank you, Tom. It's my pleasure on behalf of my fellow council members and the citizens of Port Huron to welcome all of you to this special day in the city of Port Huron. I'll take a phrase from a good friend of mine, Reverend Tom Seppo. It's a hot time in a cool city. So we really appreciate you coming out, making the effort to be here on this special day. We're really grateful to have Governor Granholm in our city, as well as Congresswoman Candace Miller. They both do an excellent job for us, and we appreciate their efforts in being here. Also, to our other elected officials, we have Phil Pavlov and Dan Echevetti. We appreciate your efforts as well. And Senator Judd Gilbert, thank you for everything that you do. And if it was for our host, really, Representative John Espinoza of the 83rd District, who is our representative for the city of Port Huron, who put all this together, and we appreciate him and his staff for doing this. Thank you very much. The advantage of going first somewhat is you can steal some thunder from the other people, and I'm going to do a little bit of that just right now, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all our partners. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, again, on behalf of my fellow council members. None of this could be possible without our partnerships. And I'm not going to list them all because they're going to be notated later, but you all know who you are. The employees, our partners, everyone's made a difference in the city of Port Huron, and we still have a lot of work to do, and I know that you'll come forward for us when asked. So thank you. About last year, we, in the city, we became the maritime capital of the Great Lakes, and through the discussions of having that designation, it came about, what do we provide to our honorary guests that come to the city? And Mayor Pro Tem Kutcher came up with the slogan or the position of Honorary Commodore. So it's my pleasure today to officially give a print of our soon-to-be Port Huron / Fort Gratiot Lighthouse to our Honorary Commodore, Governor Jennifer Granholm, designated on this date, August 8, 2005. Governor.
There is one group I'd like to give a special acknowledgement to, and that's the music we have behind us, the New Horizons Band. Don't they play beautifully? Now I'd like to introduce the person who has got the stuff. And the stuff is actually the specific award for the All-America Cities. It is Pat Edwards, a board member of the National Civic League.
Thank you very much. I am a board member on the National Civic League and have been ever since John Gardner got me involved. For all of you that have never been when the 30 cities present at the All-American Cities, like they did in Atlanta, you all should go. It would renew your faith in America and what a great country that we live in, just to see 30 cities strut the stuff about what they're so proud about. And I have to tell you, I've been a judge or a reader for All-American Cities for the last 8 years. And I've waited and waited and waited for a Michigan city to win because I am from Flint, Michigan, and I'm the only board member from Michigan. So you can imagine, for me, this is the greatest honor you can have to present that to the mayor here. So Mayor Neal, on behalf of the National Civic League that happens to be located in Denver, Colorado, I award this to the city of Port Huron as a 2005 All-American City, and you are to really, as a whole city, be strongly congratulated for your work.
Thank you. Again, on behalf of my fellow council members, all the citizens of Port Huron, and especially our partners, we really accept this award, and we're going to prove to people that we're going to put Port Huron on the map even more so than it is. So thanks again. Appreciate it.
Let's have another good round for Port Huron. I'd now like to introduce Representatives Philip Pavlov and Daniel Acchiavetti, who are representing the Michigan Legislature in a special proclamation that they would like to make to the city.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this great event and this great award. I'd like to commend the community, all the community leaders, the activists, the political leaders, the elected officials, and especially the citizens, just for doing what you do every day to make the Blue Water area what it is. And that is what I've known for years, what we've all known for years, one of the greatest places in America to raise a family and to live. With the governor here and with Congresswoman Candace Miller, I'm just grateful to be a part of it, and thank you very much, and continue the good work.
Thanks, Dan. First of all, I must apologize for being late today. I did have lunch with the governor, and apparently her motorcade travels a little bit faster than a freshman representative. She had to negotiate her way through, so that made me a little bit late. But nonetheless, it's really great to be here today. When I heard that Port Huron was a finalist in this competition, it very quickly came to me that having worked in government and worked with a lot of the nonprofits, that there's a team in place here, and that there's a cohesive bond that doesn't get recognized by many cities. And when I knew that they were going to Atlanta, I don't think there was any doubt in my mind that they would come out of that town with that hard work to make the city of Port Huron an all-American city. And it just goes to the cooperation is something you're going to hear a lot today, the cooperation and the spirit of, you know, one goal, a little bit of pride, and a whole bunch of people and residents that are behind one cause. So on behalf of the state legislature, I'd like to present this tribute to Mark Neal and Tom Hutka. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. It says, let it be known that with great pleasure that we commend and offer congratulations to the City of Port Huron on its selection as an All-American City. This recognition is a well-earned milestone which encourages and recognizes civic excellence, planning, and personal commitment of many people who share the importance of community. This praiseworthy honor is given by the National Civic League and is awarded to 10 cities nationwide. The All-American City Award is the nation's longest-running and most prestigious civic recognition award. And this is signed by Representative Pavlo, Representative Agabetti, Representative Espinoza, Senator Gilbert, and the Governor, Jennifer Granholm. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce or present State Senator Judd Gilbert, who is bringing a proclamation from the Michigan State Senate. Senator Gilbert.
Thank you very much, Tom. I too want to say that I am very happy to be a part of this ceremony today, this celebration. Port Huron has every reason to be proud, and especially those people who have volunteered with those associations, those private entities, and especially those who took the time to go out and make this presentation. One of the things that my proclamation notes is that it was very difficult for them to talk about all the public-private partnerships that they had in this city in the 10-minute time frame they had to present. So I think that says an awful lot for the city of Port Huron. I believe wholeheartedly that there is all the ingredients here to make Port Huron an ever better and greater city than it is today. And I too would like to present a tribute to the mayor and to City Manager Tom Hudka. Typically, 100 communities vie for this prestigious award each year. Since the award's inception in 1949, over the years, almost 500 communities have been honored as award winners. The City of Port Huron submitted a 28-page application detailing how a coalition of volunteer and city-run groups have transformed developmentally, changed areas into vital business-friendly environment brimming with investment potential. The focus of exciting growth and a dynamic future for the city. Undoubtedly, the All-American City Award will attract investors, national businesses, and developers alike to Port Huron. The award has been described as being the Oscar of Community Partnership Awards and is bestowed upon award winners by the National Civic League. In winning the award, the City of Port Huron returns to the winner's circle exactly 15 years from its original award-winning performance. Deservedly, a Port Huron delegation will be honored at a White House gala this fall. This is signed by the Governor, myself, Representatives Espinoza, Pavlock, and Agabetti.
You don't get to be an all-America city without friends in high places. One of Port Huron's strongest friends in Washington is U.S. Representative Candace Miller.
Thank you, Tom. And to everyone here, I'm just absolutely delighted to be here. And I certainly want to welcome Governor Granholm to the City of Port Huron and to the Blue Water area. And I got your memo today to wear the blue, so we both wore our blue in celebration of the Blue Water area. But we're so delighted to be here, of course, in the City of Port Huron, which is a world-class city, which all of us have always known, and now the entire nation knows that this is truly an all-American city. And you know, America is a nation of values, it's a nation of dreams, it's a nation of families, it's a nation of ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And this great city of Port Huron has had a long history of partnering together, both the private and the public sector, as well as community leaders and religious leaders, educators, the entire community, quite frankly, working together to create an environment where families can be secure, where businesses can thrive, and where individuals can reach their potential. In fact, it was just over a century ago, actually, in the city of Port Huron, a young man named Thomas Alvin Edison spent his boyhood here, developing his character and his creativity and the values that would sustain him throughout his entire lifetime. And this great community, this great city of Port Huron, helped to nurture the creative genius inside that young boy. It helped him certainly to be one of the most prolific, one of the most famous Americans and inventors, not only in America, but in the entire world, quite frankly. And Edison's accomplishments, we could all agree, were certainly the fruit of a very brilliant mind, an ingenious man, but they were also the product of a dynamic, determined community that created an environment for that mind and for that boy to flourish. Young Tom Edison actually began his professional career. I learned all of this last year when we were all celebrating Tom Edison. I thought it was so fascinating to think about Port Huron and Edison's life in that context. He was actually selling newspapers on the local railroad line here, not enough money really to make ends meet. But this young man was very confident because he knew that great things could happen in great places. And the Blue Water area is famous for so many kinds of things, certainly individuals like Thomas Edison, but it's also the home to some of the nation's greatest events in history as well. Like our very rich maritime history, it's certainly no wonder that we are now known as the maritime capital of the Great Lakes. Port Huron has a fantastic maritime history, something that we all need to work to preserve. In fact, I was delighted and very pleased as a new member of Congress 3 years ago. My first bill that I introduced and was able to get passed was having the United States Coast Guard dedicate as excess the Coast Guard cutter, the Bramble. It is now part of the Port Huron Museum. Will serve as I think, a critical foundation for what is going to be a tremendous thing for the Port Huron area. And I do have to tell you, I have a little bit of personal interest in the Bramble as well, because as most of you know, for many years, the Coast Guard cutter Bramble followed the Mackinac racing fleet up Lake Huron as we were approaching Mackinac Island. And just a couple of weeks ago, I happened to be in town here when I was participating in the Port Huron to Mackinac race. This year was my 29th Port Huron race, and I think I saw most of you there as well. Some of you might know that after you race 25 Port Huron and Mackinac races, they induct you into something called the Old Goat Society, or in my case, an Old Nanny Goat, but it's a title that I wear proudly. But when I heard that Port Huron had won this prestigious award, I thought about that week, the boat week here in the city of Port Huron, because it is really a vivid demonstration of a community coming together. It requires so much participation from City Hall, again, to the educators, to the religious leaders, to everybody involved in the community, thousands of volunteers really working to have something like that happen. And I think that was a good, vivid demonstration of that, because the criteria for the National Civic League to designate a city for this award is basically that a city can demonstrate that it's a city whose all of its citizens pull together to really meet community challenges. A city that can vividly demonstrate that it is truly an all-American city. And I can't think of anything more all-American than sitting on the shores of the Black River or on the back deck of the Thomas Edison Inn, watching all the traffic, the boating traffic going on, or anything more all-American than being downtown Port Huron, seeing the revitalized downtown that's happening. Anything more all-American than going out into some of the neighborhoods that we are seeing being revitalized and rebuilt. This is truly, and with all the energy and the synergy of the citizens of this community, that is what has brought this award to fruition, I believe. And with that, let me also say that Congress has certainly recognized the importance of this city as well. Just in the last couple of weeks, we were able to announce that we had received $43 million for a new plaza for the Blue Water Bridge, which is an integral part of the economic impetus, not only for the city of Port Huron, but for this entire region. I think will help future generations. There's so much to do, so much left to be done. And you know, it's a great team here, and as with every team, and what's happened here today, there are always team leaders. And let us just salute several of the team leaders that were critical in getting this prestigious award for the city. First of all, I'd like to salute an organization, a person in an organization, Justin King, and his fine work as the president of the Community Foundation of the St. Clair County's Youth Advisory Council. Justin, we salute you and your organization. And to the Community Renaissance Foundation, we salute them as well. To the fantastic work of Main Street Port Huron, we salute them. To the Southside Coalition, we certainly salute them. To Jim Atchison and his entire crew at Atchison Ventures, We salute all of them, and certainly to Mayor Mark Neal and the entire City Council, and Tom Hutka, our City Manager here, we salute all of them. But most importantly, to all of the citizens of this great city, of this truly all-American city of Port Huron, we all salute you. God bless you all, and good luck. Thank you.
State Representative John Espinosa is Port Huron's representative, and he has the enviable task of introducing the governor of the state of Michigan, Jennifer Granholm.
Hello, Port Huron. I know that there are other all-American cities in this country. I also know that in the state of Michigan there are other cool cities. But to my knowledge, there has never been an all-American cool city. Port Huron, I have always known that is a city that very seldom dwells in the past unless it's to talk about the Thomas Edisons and some of the things that form its history. But it's always been a city, ever since I've known it, that continues to look forward. Always has been forward-looking. This award is an indication of the partnerships and the things that can be accomplished, the dreams that people have, and just all around good pride, just all around good old-fashioned American pride in the community that they live in, and people willing to work together. And the coalitions that Congresswoman Miller mentioned are certainly a key part of that, but the residents have to get behind it, and they do. And that's extremely important. We are moving forward, in my opinion, and I think we're moving forward to prepare for the 21st century because we're already in it, and we know, because of the riverfront, that it's kind of like being in a rowboat against a current. If you don't row, you're going to be swept away, and Port Huron refuses to do that. We have great partnerships in our federal government. With us today, I have representatives from our two United States Senator Carl Levin, Vicky Silva sitting in the front row, and for our other United States Senator, Deputy Stabenow, Connie Fierstein is also with us because they also acknowledge this award and how important it is. We are going to move forward in Michigan because we have a governor that from day one in office started looking forward. If you listen to her State of the State addresses, she never looked back. She talked to us about where we needed to go and that she had a plan. She saw a state economy that had been on the downturn for at least the 2 years before she got into office. And it's really easy to say, woe is me, and this wasn't of my making, but good leaders don't do that. They welcome the challenge, they take those challenges head on, and say, this is what I got elected to do. I got elected to make our state better. She started almost immediately, and even before she got into office, looking at what Michigan could do to prepare for the 21st century and not get left behind. And she has a terrific plan. She has a plan to move forward, to move Michigan forward. She has a plan to move Port Huron forward. She has a plan to help our society move forward. And we are. Better days are coming. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor of the great state of Michigan, our Governor, Jennifer Granholm.
make you prouder as a governor than a community in this great state that gets a national recognition as and the best all-America city that there is in the nation, right? The best. I just returned from a trade mission to Japan last week where we were meeting with Japanese companies and trying to persuade them to create jobs in Michigan. Our message was that if you are looking to expand, you should expand here. If you are looking to grow and provide jobs, you should provide them here. If you're looking for a great quality of life, you should come to the greatest state in the nation. There's no better place than in Michigan. And of course, Michigan is the place to be because of our phenomenal workforce, our great work ethic, and because of the work that we are doing to expand the economy. But it's also the greatest state in the nation because of communities like Port Huron. This recognition of Port Huron is, I don't know how else to say it, it is just an exclamation point on our campaign to sell Michigan as the place to be in the 21st century. And it is also an example for the rest of the state. As governor, I use Port Huron as an example of collaboration, as everybody has said. But there are some communities in our state that really are struggling, where people still do operate in silos, or where there is a sense of defeatism or of passivity. That is just not the case here, which is a huge statement about leadership here. And not just leadership of the mayor, which is excellent, and not just leadership of the elected officials, which is terrific, but leadership of the average person who buys this vision of Port Huron as an all-America city, as the maritime capital of the Great Lakes, as the greatest place to live, work, and raise a family. There is a great quote from a philosopher and writer named Antoine Saint-Exupéry that says that if you wish to build a ship, you don't just gather the workers and tell the workers how to pick up the sticks and nail the wood together. If you wish to build a ship, you instill in the people a love of the vastness and the greatness of the ocean. So what you have done, you citizen patriots in this all-American city, is to instill in your residents, but in the entire state, the love of this state and of the wonder of a community that comes together to pull itself up and to excel. Now, when it comes to government or to community or to our neighborhoods, we are only as good as the sum of our parts. And you can have this beautiful corner of the world, like Port Huron does, but it won't matter, really, if you don't have a vibrant community and a strong school system and involved citizens. It's a package deal. So Port Huron obviously is not an all-America city only because of the government or only because of community organizations or only because of one thing. It is a package deal. And one of my favorite examples is the region around the Woodrow Wilson Elementary School. And a couple of years ago, you all saw a neighborhood that was desperate for reinvestment. And I remember touring it as a team of partners who was putting their heads together to decide what to do. And the Atchison Foundation and the Community Foundation and the Economic Opportunity Committee and the city and the Neighborhood Housing Corporation and the Michigan State Housing Development Authority and Citizens First Bank all came together to this Renaissance zone umbrella to tear down vacant buildings and to build new homes. And it wasn't just about bricks and mortar. It was about people who are inside of those homes, who now have hope, and now have chance, and now have a community. You gave families this unbelievable opportunity of special loans to build new houses, and you revitalized and are still revitalizing that neighborhood. So downtown, another example linked, you developed an action plan that had the input of everyone, the chamber, the convention and visitors bureau, the business bureau, the citizens, and one of the action items was a market analysis of downtown business, and through the Main Street, Port Huron, the city, the help of students and professors at SC4 and Baker College, and you got it done. And now you've got a city center where in the last 2 years, you've gone from a 40% vacancy rate to only an 8% vacancy rate, transforming the world in 2 years. You've gone from the vacant landmark of Sperry's department store to the House of Denmark opening up in that location, a major operation. And so all of these partners coming together, and even the state as a partner in this, and it wouldn't have happened if it weren't for what you all are doing. You got 2 years ago or a year and a half ago a Cool Cities designation, which gives you access to all of the other resources. In fact, you get a bump ahead of the others who may be applying for resources within state government. So in addition to that housing project, obviously you got a Cool Cities grant, but there is a $7 million revamping of Military Street from the Black River to Reed Street. Now I know it's a pain in the neck when there is construction, but you got to remember the vision out there at the end of the road. There's another $7 million on tap for rehab of 3 bridges, 2 on KPAC and 1 on 7th Street. There's the approval, of course, of the outdoor cafe legislation, which I really love because that creates this great space. In the past 2 years alone, there have been 10 specific economic development efforts that our MEDC has partnered on, and I know there's been many others, but the ones that I'm aware of, with 10 expansions of businesses, creating 365 new jobs just over the past couple of years, from ALD Thermal to SMW Automotive. There was a $1.7 million Homeland Security grant given. There were $2 million in the past couple of years given, in fact, just recently, to Clean Michigan Initiative money to cap a landfill at Winchester Disposal, and $125,000 for upgrading the Huron Development landfill. The arts has been playing such a role. Obviously, the rehab and the renovation of the Relics building to create that art incubator. But in addition, the Port Huron Museum of Arts and History got Michigan Arts and Cultural Affairs grants. There was an $89,000 award from DEQ when the Cool Cities grant was announced for you have to do infrastructure, for a bioretention basin and rain garden to assist the riverfront development project. And these are just state efforts over the past couple of years. Can you imagine what these phenomenal partners that you have been working with are doing to add to that list? I mean, the Atchison Foundation alone could write a book. And so this is why you are more than a cool city. You are this all-America city because of the way you great citizen patriots, you great Americans have come together to do what we do best as Americans, to build community. And I have always believed that we in Michigan live in a state of service. We live in a state not of idle hands. We live in a state of outstretched hands, not of arms folded in disinterest, but of open arms. You are welcome and you are invited here to be part of our community. You've heard some people talk about the creation of an ownership society, but Michigan is an ownership society because we own causes greater than ourselves. We own the struggles of our brothers and sisters like it is ours. We own the circumstances of those who would be considered the least among us. And we use these great hands to come together to mold and to shape change and to shape a future. So, my citizen patriots, in speaking of hands, of course we are drawn to the shape of this magnificent state. And you need to know that if you talked to an orthopedist, they would tell you that the thumb is the most useful part of the whole hand. They would tell you that no other functions in the hand will work without the thumb working. So, on behalf of our 10 million citizens in the state, thank you for propelling the economy of our states. Thank you for demonstrating this strong, muscular community. Thank you for being citizen patriots. And to you, our cool city, as my daughters would say, you rock. You say it 3 times, so I know you've gotten a proclamation from the House and one from the Senate, but of course you have to get one from the executive branch of government as well. So on behalf of the state of Michigan, this is our small way of saying thank you for being a great example.
Governor, I want to say again, on behalf of all the citizens, the employees of the city, all our partnerships, we are proud to represent the great state of Michigan as one of 10, only 10, all-American cities in the United States. Thank you.
Well, every all-America city, every cool city needs a city official who gets things done on a day-to-day basis. In this case, Port Huron's go-to guy is City Manager Thomas J. Hutka. I'd like to introduce or ask him to come to the stage and give us some final remarks.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Today I'd like to address my comments to some very special people. To the people who protect our lives and our property by enforcing the law, and to the people who protect our lives and our property by fighting fires. I'd like to address the best part, there's more coming. I'd like to address my comments to the people who teach our children how to read, how to write, and how to have fun. The people who build our streets, clean, plow, and fix our streets, and yes, rebuild the streets again. The people who mow the grass, trim the trees, and take good care of our public lands. The people who keep our drinking water flowing and keep our wastewater flowing as well. The people who prepare budgets, process grants, type letters, and get a lot of work done behind the scenes. The people who serve as elected officials to oversee our governments and ensure our laws are efficient and just. I want to speak to the people who volunteer their time and their funds to help their neighbors to the extent they can personally afford. And I want to thank the people building new homes and fixing up older homes in record numbers to restore pride in Port Huron neighborhoods. I want to speak to all the people working to strengthen our economy by attracting new factories, new downtown stores, new investors, and to the people preserving our history while creating a sound future. To all of these people, to all of you here today, God bless you. God bless you for working so very hard, because you are what makes Port Huron great. Now, specifically, in addition to all the individuals and organizations that have already been highlighted today, we should also take a minute to thank our city boards and commissions, our city, county, and state employees, Council on Aging, the DDA, the EDA, Citizens First, way to go, Marsh Campbell, the Flags Team, Habitat for Humanity, the Child Abuse and Neglect Council, McMorran Complex, March of Dimes, FAN, Blue Route, Port Huron Hospital, Mercy Hospital, Radio First, Times Herald, Red Cross, Salvation Army, the School District, RISA, SONS, Standard Federal, Bank One, United Way, and YMCA. And many, many others who are doing their part to make our great Port Huron partnership work, to make us an all-America city and to make us a cool city. The point is this: we have in this strong community many organizations that we need to name. And it's difficult to name them all, but we'll take every opportunity we can to thank them. Finally, I have the great pleasure to present two special greetings. Senator Carl Levin couldn't be here today, but he sent a certificate of congressional recognition. And I have in my hand, and I'll just read it briefly, U.S. Senator Carl Levin proudly presents this certificate to the City of Port Huron in recognition of being named All-America City. And we'll find a good place for that in our lobby. In addition, Senator Debbie Stabenow couldn't be here today, but has also sent a certificate of congressional recognition. Here, certificate of congressional recognition, presented on August 8, 2005, to the City of Port Huron, All-America City. And on receipt of this prestigious national award for civic excellence from the National Civic League. We want to thank Senator Stabenow and Senator Levin for their recognition, and like I said, we'll find places in our lobby for all of these certificates. Now I'm going to finish up, since I'm the only one between hundreds of people and cake and ice cream. So in closing, let me say simply, thank you and congratulations, Port Huron. If you could, I'd invite you all to stand up and join us outside for the rest of this celebration. We have out on the plaza cake and ice cream and more fun. So thank you all for being here today, and special thanks to Governor Granholm for being here.